All right, for squat, I'm squatting once a week. In the old days, I would front squat on my deadlift day, and I just have not done that. It's probably been a couple of years now. I just went away from it. Again, it was a time situation, and I started back at the beginning of this previous training cycle, but I lost some flexibility using the clean grip, so I went back to my hands crossed. And again, I'm just out of practice, and I had some flat-soled shoes on. I do better with heels, like weightlifters, when I'm front squatting, not so much when I'm back squatting. I don't know why. And it popped off and bothered one of the lifters' bicep, just trying to spot me. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, I quit doing it. And the back injury that I had at the beginning of the training cycle, for the first few weeks of the previous cycle, I was doing trap bar and was starting to get progressively heavier, over 600 pounds, and I tweaked that area again, so I just went away from it and just didn't go back. Now, will I do that in the future? That remains to be seen, but we'll talk about that on the deadlift video. So for squat, again, I'm using the same progressive overload system that I have used for years and years, the one that took me to 1040 when I did the multiply squat. And what I'm following it up with currently, in the old days, I would do a close stance, maybe paused, and some super wides for my hips. My right knee will no longer tolerate it, and it may now, but I haven't gone back to it. And so what I've started doing is I really like the yoke bar from Elite Fitness, and I'll do 3 sets of 3, and I'm pausing the last one currently, and I did it most of the cycle last cycle. I'm going beltless and pausing the last rep and really working on my bracing. And I'm following that up with currently RDLs. I've just started really light and just doing sets of 3. I know I'll need to do more, and I intend to. And like today, I did 3 sets of 3 with 315, and no problem, pretty easy. But my rule of thumb is when you introduce something, even if you're strong and even if you've done it in the past, when you haven't been doing it recently, I take a couple of weeks just to reintroduce it, as I have paid the price for that in the past. I follow that up with some tibia and calf, and I didn't today, I just ran out of time. I've been doing some seated leg curls, and for no other reason than just to pump some blood into the hamstrings. I've never really trained hamstrings like that, isolation. I've done some in the past, but it's been years and years ago. So that's currently what my squat setup looks like. I could potentially, maybe add some more barbell squats where I'm pausing or varying the stance, and we'll kind of see how that goes. But right now, that this is the general trend, so to speak. So for deadlift, I'm warming up. I spend a little more time warming. Squat is something I've always been able to. I'll do 3 sets of 5 with the bar. I'll do some pull aparts to push some blood into my shoulders, and then I'm ready to go. And so that's just how it works for me. For deadlift, I will do some leg extensions, leg curls. All this is very light. Pull downs, shrugs in the neck machine, and I'll do some tibia and calf again, just to get everything nice and loose. By the time Friday rolls around, given the schedule and the training, I'm a little bit, sore and tired, and so that kind of gets the day rolling, and then I start warming up with the deadlift. And I'm doing singles, and then I will follow that up with chain pulls. I do 3 sets of 2 with a weight, and I've been progressive. Like last week, I did 170 kilos for 3 sets of 2, and what I'm doing is I'm loading, pull, lock out, put it down. I keep my hands on the bar, but reload and pull. And so I'm not doing a touch and go or anything like that. I'm really focusing on the load and staying tight. And my top set, I had 190 pounds worth of chain. Then I'm following that up with two sets of 6 of stiff leg. And what I did this week, past week, Friday, was 2 sets of 6 with 170 kilos. And I will tell you, I was pretty dead after that. But I'm trying to get in the gym and get rolling a little quicker and earlier, because I'd like to do a little squatting on the front end, front squat, cambered bar, something. But I would like to be doing a little more and get the tibia and calf work in. Right now, I haven't done an auxiliary workout in a couple of years. That was something I used to do a lot of, but I am looking to add that, and I'd like to at least get started this week. Maybe 30 minutes, just something. I've been using Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays are busy with coaching, and Wednesday, I coach, we have a little bit of a crew, and then I try to do any little project that needs to be done or chore, whether that be stocking water, pulling some trash. I've been building an insert for the ladies for the stone platform. We've got a stone platform that you can do a series of 8 on, but it's set at the men's height that is typically 52 inches, and I've got an insert that should allow them to load at 48, maybe even at 47 inches. But something that's going to assist them. They've been training a lot of it at 252, but as it gets heavier, we've been using mats and stuff like that. But this should allow them to do a series of 3 and it not be too big of a deal. So that is currently the training. I hope to start adding this week the auxiliary workout, at least on Wednesday, and we'll see. A few times the previous cycle, I did a few strongman movements. Sometimes in the evening with the crew, I would do some log presses or something like that. I haven't taken it seriously, and I haven't really committed to doing anything, but we'll see. It would be fun to do the stones and do it regularly. I'd love to get back to where I could load a 300-pound stone. I just haven't done it. Several weeks back, I think I did a series with maybe a 175, a 200, and 245 without tacky. But I mean, that's the most stone work I've done since the year I won nationals, and I did enough to load a stone and win. And so I've just never trained them. So that would be something fun that maybe on down the road I could do a local contest and have some fun with it. We will see. But that's the training overview right now. The goal, I'd love for squat, I'd love to get back in the 575 area. So what is that, 572 to 580-ish? The goal would be to get back above 600, and this is raw, belt only. And this training cycle, I'd love to get at least 584 in the deadlift. I don't know if I'll be ready for 600 just yet, but everything seems to, pulls are feeling pretty good. I'm doing a little extra volume on the deadlifts. I usually start at 70, 75, and 80%, and I've been doing 8 singles. But I've been doing the traditional Texas powerlifting deadlift routine, and I did 15 singles with 70%, 12 singles with 75. And this past Friday I did 10 singles with 80%. So we're going to see. We'll see how that goes. And usually what I do is I'll do the 5 weeks, a deload, and then test. But I have been extending that and doubling the time and only doing 1 deload. So we'll just kind of have to see how that rolls around. But that's the goal. I'd love to hit like a 265 squat, and maybe, which may be a reach, but 260 to 265 squat and 265 to a 270 deadlift. So we'll wait and see.